Life is Strange 2, Episode 2, Rules. Today we're discussing Life is Strange 2 second episode, which was released roughly about a week ago. I'll discuss what I liked about the episode, what I disliked about the episode, what people said about the episode, reviews, Steam reviews, Facebook comments and such, the controversy regarding episode's bundle, glitches, and other stuff that concerns episode 2. Welcome guys, this is Ola from Stop Me All channel. This is another Life is Strange 2 video. There's a bunch of videos already on my channel. There's a lot of Life is Strange theories. If you haven't been on my channel, previously, now's your chance to check it out. There's also Life is Strange 2 theories and predictions. So do check it out, and also make sure to follow me on social media like Twitter, there's a Discord invite, and check out Patreon page. We're jumping right into it. My general impressions when it comes to episode 2, Rules. Now, I have to say, before playing that episode, 2 people told me that the episode sucked. That's what they said to me. I didn't know if I should believe it. I'm the type of a person that likes to check things out on my own, as I'm sure you all are. But, when you're told that something sucks, you're going into it thinking, I'm not expecting a lot. General reviews were also, I guess, mixed. If you check out Steam, people are sort of torn, and half of people, I think roughly half of the people enjoyed it and the other half did not. Yeah, I started playing that episode thinking that it's not going to be a great one. Maybe this is why I actually enjoyed episode 2. Rules. Now, at this point, I probably have to tell you that after episode 1, I was a bit, I don't know, I had my doubts about that episode, about the entire game. It's not about Max and Chloe, please stop saying that. I see so many people commenting and saying, you don't like the game because there's no Max and Chloe in it. That's not true. So many people disliked the game for other reasons. There's so many people that had legit complaints, and it's worth hearing them out. It's not about Max and Chloe at this point. Maybe it was around episode 1. Of course, people miss Max and Chloe, but at least I understand that they wanted to move on. I totally understand that. Being a content creator myself, I wouldn't want to shut myself down in one topic, so I get that. And having said that, I wasn't that big of a fan after episode 1. I had my doubts, my problems with it that I discussed in some videos. I wouldn't want to get into that again, but I didn't really like how they involved politics in the game, even though there are games that involved politics that I enjoyed, like Detroit Become Human. I just didn't like the way it was presented, even though I am nowhere near being a Trump supporter. I also heard that so many people say, only people who like Trump did not like the politics involvement in the game. That's not true. I'm as liberal as it can get. I dislike Trump, although I don't feel like I know enough about American US political situation to actually talk about that. Yeah, that's not true. I just disliked the way it was presented and the way racism was presented. I just didn't find it that believable. I do understand that they were sort of setting the background, introducing us to the characters, and this is where the story sort of began. So I do understand that it was necessary to present it. After my friends told me that the episode sucked, I was kind of like, that's not good. But I did enjoy the episode. First of all, I thoroughly enjoyed the fact that they didn't keep up with the politics and the racism thing. Even though you could say that Life is Strange 1 also involved politics in a way, although I don't see how. I know that some people claim that it did. Some people say that if there's an LGBT issue, it automatically means that politics are involved, but I don't feel like they were. I feel like it was a story about 2 girls who, depending on your choices, fell in love or didn't, and that's it. Now, Life is Strange 2, it was clearly political with the wall comments and such. What I'm trying to say is Life is Strange 1 was about people and emotions. Now, Life is Strange 2, it seemed like they wanna get into the whole, racism, politics deal. They let that go in episode 2. Thankfully, they went back to people and emotions. So I enjoyed it, even though the episode wasn't as good as some Life is Strange episodes were. I played it twice, and both times I actually liked it. It was a decent episode, and I liked some things that a lot of people disliked actually. So the episode was definitely slow-paced, more mellow and minimalistic. People are complaining that there's not enough powers usage and that you cannot use the powers. We only can watch Daniel do it, and it's not even that important when it comes to the storyline. I mean, it's not the main thing in the story. Let's have a look at some Facebook comments on the Life is Strange 2, Life is Strange fan page. Now, these are public comments, so I'm not going to crop out the names because they're all there. You can read it. That's public. So let's have a look. I'm seriously pissed by now, don't not. First you make us wait for ages, even though the first episode wasn't even that good. I tried to stay optimistic, even though so many were disappointed, and now you charge us for the whole bundle. Yeah, that's a whole thing, a separate thing. It's been 84 years. So you release episodes, but charge bundles. Are you sure you know your audience? What a disappointment. Was highly disappointed. Waited 5 months to make a fire in an abandoned house, clean grandma's house, and pick out a Christmas tree. What the... Not to mention how extremely glitchy episode 2 was. 5 months wasn't long enough to make sure there was actually a person in the driver's seat while track was moving. Or someone who's talking to you isn't invisible. Shows how much Don't Not gives a crap about us. Okay, I'm really disappointed. Why make a possibility to buy first episode but not second? It seems like what people are mostly talking about is not the episode itself, but the lack of possibility of buying episode 2 separately. Now, when I played Life is Strange, I didn't actually play it when the episodes were out. I played the whole thing when everything was out, so I paid for the whole game. I wasn't sure, I'm still not sure how it looked like back then. But from what I've been told, it was possible to buy episodes separately on PlayStation 4 and Xbox. It wasn't possible to buy these episodes separately. I don't actually understand why people are upset, because it was like that during the first game. When it comes to PC players, I think that's majority of players. And Before the Storm didn't allow us to buy episodes separately either, I believe. This is a choices-based game, so obviously you have to play episode 1 in order to play episode 2, but I learned that the hard way. I accidentally deleted my save file and I couldn't start episode 2 without playing episode 1. I had to actually borrow sort of my friend's save file, but I'll discuss that later as well. What I'm trying to say is, it's pretty much the same way, but I do understand why people are upset, mostly because, well, first of all, Telltale went bankrupt a couple of months back, so people are worried that they'll pay for a product which won't be fully released until at least end of that year. Don't Not might go bankrupt in the meantime. I was discussing possibility of that actually. Hopefully that's not the case, but it could happen. The game is expensive, twice as expensive as the first one was, and so many people are like teenagers and such. They don't have the full amount. Also, this is a new product. There's no Max and Chloe, so people are also concerned about the quality. Some people weren't totally convinced after episode 1, like myself. So I understand that they would like to buy episode 2 and see if they want to continue buying that. Now, with those episodes, we've been waiting for such a long time until episode 2 was released. It was like 5 months. So that's a long time. One way of looking at it is that you're saving money because it costs more. It would cost more if episodes were sold separately. But the other way of looking at it is that some people simply cannot afford it right now, so they won't play episode 2. I think episodes should be sold separately because the game won't be out until end of that year. You know, you're expecting a lot with a product that is sort of using the Life is Strange brand name, but is not exactly Life is Strange. That's like more of a new game. Again, I understand their point of view, but I think it would be nice to sell these episodes separately for the sake of the people, that those of you who cannot actually afford paying $40 for a game right about now. When it comes to the episode itself, let's discuss some flaws first. Now, as I said, some people dislike the slow pace, which is something that I actually liked, but it's a personal preference, so I totally understand if some people were bored because they had to do laundry or prepare ravioli. Yeah, that was one of your tasks in episode 2. We've been waiting for that episode for like 5 months, which I already said, yet the episode was so damn glitchy. I mean, I've never seen a game that glitchy. Not a beta version or something, but like a fully released expensive product. It was so many glitches, just have a look at that.
Seems like Charles is waiting for us. We should get going.
All done. Cool. Hop in. Are you having too much fun back there?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I'm just tired of the same thing. Do you want it, Mushroom?
Now that's terrible. I mean, characters are invisible. They're like all over the place. They show up, then they disappear. Sometimes there's no sound, from what I've been told. Yeah, to wait that long for an episode and still get an unfinished product. Because this is what it was. It felt rushed and unfinished. For example, that room in the hut in the woods. Shawn said that he doesn't have a key for it. No, he actually said that they are keeping some stuff inside that they're not using. And he couldn't enter the room. It felt so lazy. It felt like they didn't finish the room. Also, killing Mushroom off. What the hell with that? It felt unnecessary and out of place, and it felt like they just couldn't bother to animate Mushroom into grandmother's house, Miss Reynolds' house. So they just killed him off. And a cougar killed him off. Imagine that they were throwing ideas around and this was the best idea they had. They just introduced Mushroom end of episode 1 and beginning of episode 2 they killed her off, which felt odd. I wasn't really bothered by that death because I didn't even get attached to that puppy, and I was surprised that a cougar killed her. A cougar. I just generally disliked that whole scene. Some people claim that it was handled that way because they wanted to sort of show us Daniel's powers, and I guess the moral choice, you know, to kill the cougar or not to kill the cougar, it did influence the story, but personally I didn't actually find that interesting. I'd also say that for a Christmas episode we didn't do enough of Christmas stuff. Like Shawn said that they decorated the Christmas tree, and I'd love to do it, but we were just told that it was done and that the Christmas tree is out. I'd love to have that scene with some Christmas music in the background, but I didn't. I thoroughly enjoyed having Chris around, although I feel like maybe his story was treated superficially, like we didn't explore his mother's death and his father's issue the way that he was treating Chris. Charles said to Shawn, "Oh, I see that you're a good brother to Daniel, so I will be a good father to Chris," and that's it. After playing The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, it felt like a bigger deal, and it feels like that minor conversation wouldn't actually solve that. People also complained about the fact that the episode wasn't long enough. Personally, I played for roughly 3 hours with exploring. I did not explore everything. Some people explore everything, then they play for like 5-6 hours. I didn't, because I didn't find exploring that interesting as it was in Life is Strange. In Life is Strange it felt like exploring did bring something into the story. In Life is Strange 2 it doesn't feel like it. For example, Shawn approaches a rabbit's trap and says, "This is a rabbit's trap." We created it, but we didn't catch a rabbit. Okay, Shawn, I'm not blind, I can totally see that. I hope you know what I mean. Yeah, people were complaining that the episode wasn't long enough. I suppose I agree with that. I think it could be a bit longer. Have they included more scenes, for example Christmassy scenes? Maybe if we got a chance to actually explore Chris's house and Chris's mother's story. I feel like it was really nice having Chris around, but we are left with a bunch of questions about his mother. Now, what I did like, as I mentioned before, I actually enjoyed the slow pace, how mellow that episode was. I enjoyed lack of politics, lack of that whole racism problem. I enjoyed being in one place. I'm not that big of a fan of the whole travel deal, because the best things, based on that episode, happen when we're actually in one place and we can explore. I really liked Cassidy, the character, and the song that she was singing was beautiful. I like the diversity of the background music, because in episode 1 I believe it was the same tune playing all over again in each scene. Now in that episode there was a variety of background music. There were only 2 songs, so I would enjoy more licensed music, I suppose, as it was in Life is Strange. There were more songs, generally speaking. I feel like overall they're on the right track. I don't know if they were changing things after some episode 1 critique, but I feel like they're on the right track, and I hope in episode 3 we will get there. Now, some of my predictions turned out to be correct, that we spend entire episode 2 around our grandmother's place. It seems like we will spend entire episode 3 in California with Cassidy and the train hoppers smoking weed. That's you know, something to look forward to. I think it will be interesting. Maybe we'll bump into Max and Chloe. I mean, that's California. Maybe this is where they'd go, actually. Fingers crossed for that. It would be nice to have that cameo. Although I think that they will sort of present them in episode 4 or 5. Now that I'm thinking about it, it makes sense. If they showed Max and Chloe in episode 1, they would take all the attention from the boys. And for example, me personally, I needed more time to sort of get used to them and like them. I really like Shawn. Shawn is a cool boy. I enjoy playing as Shawn. Daniel? Okay then. What I have to compliment is actually the fact that choices do matter. Now, here's another piece of critique that I've read. Some people claim that the choices are made for us. There aren't many big choices. For example, mushroom. It doesn't matter if you open the door, the sliding door, or not. Mushroom still dies. It would be nice to have that as an option. And, you know, live with that burden. Oh, I opened the sliding door and then Mushroom died, killed by a cougar. It wasn't a choice. It felt like it was predetermined and it had to happen. And it had to happen, that's true. The Christmas market. It would be nice to have that as a choice. I understand that it had to happen in order to move the story forward, that the police had to come. But it would be cool to sort of have that as a result of our own choice. Like, I visited the Christmas market and the police came because someone saw me. Now, I didn't want to go to that Christmas market. I didn't actually think it would be a good idea, but I was forced. So I had to go and the police came. But choices do matter in that game. Minor choices. As I said before, I played episode 2 twice. I lost my save file, and the first time I played it, I used my own save file. I used my own save file from episode 1. Daniel cleaned the room when he was asked to. Also, Daniel told Chris that Chris doesn't have any powers, so I got the best outcome. Chris didn't try to actually stop the police car. Second time around, I used my friend's save file, and Daniel did not clean the room, even though he was told to. Also, Daniel did not tell Chris about the lack of powers, and that resulted in Chris trying to stop the police car. So that's actually pretty neat, because these small choices, they do add up. Maybe this is what they're working on. Maybe this is the thing that they sort of, you know, polished, and then they didn't polish characters being visible. Now, when it comes to predictions, when it comes to the story, what's going to happen later on, I recorded a video, the predictions video, and I did say in that video that perhaps Daniel and Shawn's mother also had these powers and this is why she left. Notice that she didn't actually leave just her husband and kids, but she also cut ties with her parents. Maybe it is true, maybe she did have powers and she was too afraid to be around people, but that would also mean that powers are genetic. I'm just not sure if they're genetic. From all I know, powers are triggered because of some events, like traumatic events. Powers are not something you're born with, like Max wasn't born with these powers. We don't know about Daniel yet. But yeah, after that episode I still think that some people don't want that to turn into an X-Men story, and I agree, I wouldn't want it to turn into an X-Men story, but having more people with powers around, that's surely interesting. The last thing I have to say, I still think there's not enough logic in the whole runaway thing. They're running away to Mexico, their grandparents didn't even try to stop them. I mean, they did say, oh, maybe you should stay here, but they didn't say, what the hell are you doing? You're going with a 8-year-old or however old Daniel is to Mexico. That's not a smart idea. Also, treating them as suspects, that's just not believable. If kids go missing after father's death, they're not treated as suspects. So that's just a minor thing. I also discussed that before in will Shawn and Daniel be charged with murder type of a video that I recorded previously. More or less, I think that's it. I didn't actually prepare anything to say when it comes to that video. Sometimes I write down everything that I do want to say, but this time around I figured it's better if I actually just talk about it and yeah, and see what comes out of it. After all, I did enjoy that episode. I'm waiting for episode 2. I'm very excited, especially about having Cassidy in that episode. I think that's pretty cool. If there's a possibility of Cassidy and Shawn a romance in episode 3, I am on board, because this is something that I've been also missing in Life is Strange. It's cool to have a love interest in that game. So yeah, let's see. We're waiting for episode 3. I'm sure it's still a couple of months away, but you know, let's hope that the characters will be actually visible in that one. The episode will be more polished and finished. But overall, even though I did mention a lot of critique, that's mostly things that I've read, things that people mentioned. Overall, I did enjoy that episode, so I'm happy. I'm excited about episode 3. Right, I think that's it. That's all that I wanted to say. I'd love to discuss that topic in the comment section, so do comment your impressions. I'm interested in those. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. There are more Life is Strange 2 videos coming, Life is Strange videos. I'll be discussing comics at some point, Life is Strange comic books. I'm enjoying them a lot. There are also gameplays coming soon as well. Make sure to drop a like so I know that you're enjoying these videos, and check out the links in the description. You can follow me on Twitter or join the Discord server for updates. That's a good place for updates. Make sure to check out Patreon. I'm trying to save up for a new PC, so any support is much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching that video, and stay safe, guys. This was Ola from Stop Me O channel. Bye, guys.